Tell us.
We are so excited to be here again for yet another unapologetic women's share. As you can tell, we enjoy ourselves and we are having fun every week. Sherry, please tell us who our beautiful, wonderful guest is today.
Well, today I have the honor of introducing a dear friend of mine, Maggie McKee, who lives in, is it Vancouver Island or Vancouver? Vancouver, Canada. I get confused about all of that, which means I need to visit. So Maggie, I want to read you a little bit about her, who she is. So she's on a mission, an evolving soul on a mission to spark joy and connection that opens worlds of possibilities for people. Doesn't that sound exciting? She's an amateur musician in a rock and roll band, Go Maggie, and we're going to talk more about that. She's a proud and grateful grandmother of 6 and a mother of 2 fabulous sons. And I love what you say about Maggie, that you are an elder, but not elderly. And so she has a passion to awaken others to their purpose and guide them on their hero's journey. And this is a great quote that you put in here. Tayo Portion Lynch's statement: I don't believe in age, I believe in energy. Don't let anyone dictate what you can and cannot do. Amen to that,
Here,
sister.
here.
Amen. Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah,
So
you
that
believe.
gal was teaching yoga in her 90s. She died at 101.
Yep.
fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, age is just a number, right? We
Mhm.
know that. We know that. And yet sometimes we get caught up in our age and the things that, we've heard other people say. I know that we are a lot younger at whatever age we are than the last generation. I mean, I know that
Mhm.
for a fact because my relatives, when they were at my age, they weren't doing a fourth of the things that I do today. So anyhow, but so Maggie, we're going to jump in. I have a couple of questions I want to ask you. So because we are unapologetic women sharing, tell us about being unapologetic at the age that you are, and about how what do you think about transforming the perception of aging, and you know, from being a fading flower to a brilliant blossom. So lighting it up on fire. So what do you have to say about that?
A lot. In 2 weeks I'll be 78, and I'm so proud of that. And I got to a point about a year and a bit ago where I thought, maybe I'm done in terms of, developing my business and playing in the band and all of that. And then I thought, hell no, I ain't done yet. So I re I rewired up here because we have so many messages out there, especially from the media and movies, that getting to this age is not fun. There are lots of movies now with older people in them, but they're often very tragic. They're dying or they're stuck in nursing homes or whatever. So I've decided to be a champion for aging with fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
And I've been with this band that I'm with about 10 years now, I guess. So that was exciting because I have played music in the past, but I've never really had anybody to play consistently with until this strange band formed. And there were 5 of us at the time, and we were practicing at a friend's house out in the country. They had a bit of acreage. They had a chicken coop, and they had chickens. And because there were a lot of coyotes around, we'd have to stop our practice at 8 o'clock, usually around 8, and go out and make sure all the chickens were safe in the hen house, right? So we decided to call our band Counting Chickens. And that name has stuck, and it's a really fun. We have a logo that's just hilarious, and we have a lot of fun. We're down to 2, or we were down to 2 of those 5 for different circumstances. And so Gary and I, who live quite close together, we would still get together every couple of weeks or so. And then we started doing every week, and we thought, hey, this is fun, but we need a bass player. We're both guitar players and singers, and you need a bass player to keep you on beat, right? Because we didn't have a drummer. And we also wanted another lead guitar. So as the universe would have it, we found both of those guys around the same time about 3 weeks ago. So we're now jamming, the four of us, and we decided we're going to do a free concert in the social room at our building here on the last Sunday of the month, and just throw the doors open and say, come on in, because our music, even my kids like this music. I mean, they probably play it more when I'm in the house, mind you, but you know, they have basically my playlist, right? Which is, you know, the 60s, CCR, and the 70s, and, you know, even going back to Elvis Presley. And we do one Dean Martin song that's a hoot, and we do the Eagles, and we do John Denver. I mean, so we're kind of a rock and roll country folk mix, right? And people love it. People love it. People say, well, why don't you play for money? And you know, we say no, because we do benefits. We've done benefit concerts. We did one for raising money for the can't remember his name now, Downey, Gordon Downey, the big Canadian band, Tragically Hip. For his project before he died was raising awareness in Indigenous communities, and there was a young boy who walked away from residential school and died walking home. So this Wenjack fund that Gordon Downey started is to, you know, to help Indigenous communities. So we did that, and that was a lot of fun. We've played for what we call the downtown east side here, which is the poorest postal code in our country, poorest zip code in our country. It's a shameful thing in many ways, what we haven't done for homing people who deserve homes. Some people don't want to be in a home, and I respect that. But we've played there at Christmas, and just, you know, to have fun and help people. We've raised money doing a concert in the round out here by my place, just for the food bank, stuff like that. So, and our tagline, I love our tagline. It says, "Any fool can play with accuracy. We play with style." So that excuses all errors, and, you know,
perfect.
Yeah,
that certainly explains how
you're
showing up unapologetically, let me tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to tell you, perfect timing for you talking about being, you know, an elder and playing music and loving it. I this past weekend, Saturday night, I got to see the Doobie Brothers.
Ooh, they're so good.
They are one of my favorites. They may be my favorite now. I always said the Eagles were my favorite. I loved this concert so much. And they were proud about saying that they've been around for 53 years, which, do the math, 71.
Yeah.
And what was fun too, I mean, they didn't have, you know, some of the concerts today and pop stars, you know, they have all this glitz and stuff. The only thing they had, you know, there wasn't any light show. They had this giant screen between them, but, you know, behind the musicians. And so it was so fun at times where they were showing them as young men.
Oh my
Singing
God.
probably the same song. I mean, you couldn't quite exactly tell, but, you know, it was like watching Michael McDonald when he had that shock of black hair, now it's a shock of white hair. Anyhow, they sounded so great. And
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it was so much fun. It was so uplifting. And, you know, 53 years that they've been at it. So, I mean, they were in their 70s and rocking it. So, yeah.
Whoa. Woo, woo.
And music, really, to me, music is, well, it's a vibration, obviously, and it's magical, because it really puts me in a different place. I'm in the zone. When I'm playing music, I'm in the zone, and it feels so good, so refreshing. And, you know, we used to just play in my living room. Now some of my neighbors pop down, and just to have a bit of an audience it's just so rewarding. We love it.
I'll tell you, anytime I hear the chicken dance, I am on my feet and I am dancing to the chicken dance. I even one day I posted it and or videoed it and posted it on my social media site. It's just one of those fun, like, it's nonsensical, you have fun, and it's stuff like that. I think that's why we enjoy wedding receptions so much, that where they're playing that type of music, right? Because we're like, oh, I don't get to do this very often, and then we jump in and we start loving our life and remembering why we love our life. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, there was something during the concert when the last song they sang was "Listen to the music." Whoa, whoa, listen to the music. And they had everybody, they were encouraging everyone to sing. In fact, they would stop singing at some point to have everybody out there singing. And
Mm.
I thought, we're all outside. There's like at least 10,000 people,
Oh,
and
oh,
everybody's singing that. And there's such a message, listen to the
Yeah,
music, right?
yeah.
And it was such a connecting, aligning, like
mm,
freeing. Let's put all of our, I mean, earlier that evening, we'd heard about Trump being shot. I'm not going into any politics. I'm just saying there's a lot of polarity going on. It was so music
bring
has
it.
a way of doing it. And dance also. Dance, I think, too,
Hmm.
truly
Hmm.
about being unapologetic, of just,
Yep.
my husband is not a comfortable dancer. I don't think but he likes to dance. I mean, you can see he gets a look on his face when he starts dancing, but oftentimes he feels kind of embarrassed to be, he has to drink. A lot of people have to drink a little bit before they'll get on the dance floor, and I think that's a part of being unapologetic, is just let your body
Yeah.
move the
Hmm.
way it wants to move. It's so fun,
Truly.
it's so free. Nobody judges you when you are, really into it, when you are just caught
Yeah.
up in it.
It's like Sly and the Family Stone, dance to the music, you know. And
Mhm.
some of the words to their songs were like, what? But man, it it's the beat, you know, we only need a drummer. And it's like, oh man, you just like that fills your soul and
Mhm.
keeps you going. And when it, it's ageless.
Yeah.
It
And
is.
I think if we could get rid of the term age, you know, and replace it with ageless, because as we were saying, age is just a number. How do you feel? Because how you feel creates your circumstances. So
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
your mindset is that you're old and you're put out to pasture, then that's what's going to happen.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So,
Maggie, what do you attribute to your, I know you love to do the music, but what do you attribute to aging with fun? Like how do you promote that? How do you get out there and talk to people? Because I know you're not just, you know, carrying your guitar around with you all the time. You know, like how are you promoting it?
That's a good question. I think mostly by example. Like we have my band and I started an outdoor music thing here just after COVID in the square by my house. And it's carried on, and they have different musicians all summer long from May to October playing free concerts. And so, we started that. We've stepped back because there's so many other people who want to play there, but I still go. And Saturday was Irish Day, which, my wild Irish hair. Um, so they had Irish dancers, Irish music, Irish beer. It was just a fun day in the sun. So I think being out, and I'm so impressed because I live in a neighborhood that's very quiet, right in the city, and we do have a lot of elderly, people who call themselves elderly, and they're out there with their walkers. They're not dancing, but they're in their walkers and their wheelchairs, and they're coming out, and if we didn't create that space,
Yeah.
they would be doing something else, and maybe it wouldn't be as much fun. So I think leading by example. And I grew up on a farm. Well, I shouldn't say that because I haven't really grown up yet, but I was born on a farm, raised on a
Yay.
farm, and we worked hard and we played hard. I mean, my parents were famous for the parties that we would have when the haying was done and that sort of thing. And there was always music and people dancing on the tables and drinking lots of beer. And so I grew up in that atmosphere. And then my older brother, started playing guitar, just with his friends. And so every time I would go back home, which was in Ontario, I would join these guys, for the 2 or 3 weeks I would be there, and we would play music and sing. And it was so fun. So I've been steeped in that. So for me, it's probably a little easier than somebody who decides at 70 to pick up guitar and start playing, because it's not easy to play an instrument well enough to be able to be present for other people. So example is the biggest way. And self-care. I mean, Sherry is the self-care guru, and the company that we work with is all about self-care, so that makes it easy because we've attracted a worldwide community of people who think a lot like us. Because as you said, it's how we think that we create our world. So I think it's so important to create a community and several communities. I have my yoga community, I have my music community, I have, our business community, and they're all vibrating at that yay level. So that's really important. And just showing that to other people. And my kids, I grew up in an intergenerational environment. We never had babysitters. My parents would drag us everywhere, and we would party in our own way, and our parents would party. And so I always took my kids everywhere. And at first, when my kids were born in the 70s, people would kind of go, haven't you got a babysitter? I said, why would I get a babysitter?
Yeah.
This is the best education for children, to be in a intergenerational family situation. So now we've got the 3 generations going, and it's always fun. When I go and visit my son in Toronto, they take me to all their parties, and we bring the little ones along, and it's, I think that's important, because there's so much wisdom that we gain just by breathing and being, older, that is lost if we don't get to share that with our children and our grandchildren. And Sherry's expecting her first grandchild. She's pretty excited. I have 6 of them, and I've got 4 granddaughters, and the second oldest granddaughter has decided she wants to play guitar, which is interesting because I don't live near her, and she's probably seen me before. But when I was in Toronto last, my son said, would you go and, buy Ellie a guitar? So I did, and, I brought it back, and he didn't think it was expensive enough, so he went and got her a more expensive one, and that's fine. So we're playing music, and the little one, who's 2, she was trying to say the word guitar, and it was not coming out like guitar. It was like lidar or something, So she just got so frustrated. She walked over to the guitar and pointed at it and said the word. I said, oh, guitar. So we worked on the word. Anyway, I took the guitar out, and I said, Ellie, or not Ellie, Rhea, do you want to play it? Yes. So I've got a video of her. It is magical. She's 2.5. And I put the guitar across her lap, and she goes into this really interesting zone, and she starts strumming the strings like so gently, and she starts singing. And I just went, oh my Lord.
You can tell. I mean, at that age, they know that they are part of creation, and that creation is in them and through them. And they don't have that filter. No one has knocked it out of them yet, and they are allowing it to come through them. That's so amazing.
Yeah. And my son, their dad, he took piano lessons as a kid, but he became a really good drummer, and he played in jazz bands and that sort of thing for fun. And now he's back to playing piano. So every day he practices. So the kids hear this, and they see the discipline that he has to sit down and play every day. And my grandson, I only have 2 of them. The one that's in Toronto, who just turned 10 a couple of days ago, and he started doing piano. And I would be there, and I would say, Benny, play me a song. And he would play me. I said, honey, I don't recognize that song. Did you write it? He said, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fine song. But he's so into baseball now. He's not playing piano, but he'll come back to music. I know he will. So that's,
Maggie, listening to you talk, I can feel that you are sharing this aging with fun based on how you feel. And how you feel is so contagious to anyone having a conversation with you. I mean, I can only imagine what it's like sitting right next to you, but being able to do this from, I'm in California, you're in Vancouver. I mean, it's so wonderful that we can have these amazing conversations, these energetic conversations, and put something out there into the universe that encourages people to not make age a number. I applaud you.
Thank you. It is fun.
Yeah. Donna, you look like you're about to pop. What do you got?
I know. This is my happy place. Music is my happy place. I'm a singer, but I'm in musical theater and a songwriter and all of that stuff. But so when you talk about this, and what you say is like, you just light up the place and we all come together. This is so important. This is how we can change the world.
Absolutely.
especially at our ages, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And there's
Mm-hmm.
no age, there's no name for us. Women who
No.
are alive and vibrant and out there creating and just enjoying ourselves and being musical and just, and it's perfect that you're saying this now because I normally do the work first and get all the work done. And I just realized I've got to go to my joyful place and work from my joyful place,
Mm-hmm.
carve out time to be singing, to be writing, to be creating, and not just doing the work all the time
Good
because
for
that
you.
makes everything different. And
Mm.
that's my gift to the world is to be really happy. So what you're doing and what you were talking about, Sherry, I saw Michael McDonald over at the Greek Theater. Woo, woo, woo. Do you think it makes me happy? I get excited. So thank you. You're reminding
Mm.
me to call my musical director and get back to work, fun
You go,
stuff.
girl.
But
Yeah.
right on for you, playing guitar and oh my gosh. You just
And
lighting me up. So thank you. That's a permission slip, okay? For just
yeah,
get happy, baby. Do the
And
happy
this
things that
and,
make us
and
light
yeah,
up and come together. Pardon me?
that is how we change the world, by being that and inspiring others to find that place in themselves, whether it's music or
Yeah.
dance or writing or being just happy.
Yeah.
Happiness is the
yeah.
Well,
Well,
salvation.
it touches a place in us, it touches a
Yeah.
place that is
Mm-hmm.
not, there's no, there's no box for it. There's no,
No.
you don't compartmentalize it. It equalizes everything.
it's
And I
where we
think
can all come
something,
together and join. It's the life force coming together harmoniously rather than people
Mm-hmm.
fighting and arguing about this and I'm right about that. No, 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 no. It's a place where we just all get to, our life force gets to raise up and create a whole different energy system in the world. It's very important.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
and I think, in hearing what you guys are saying, that no matter how old you are, don't tell yourself you're too old to play the piano, play the guitar, whatever musical instrument you choose. Pick it up and start. Don't say, "Oh, it's too late now. I'm too old to do this." I mean, maybe this is when you were supposed to wait to do it because this is when
Yeah.
most of the joy is going to be flowing from you. So get out there and do it.
Yeah. Apparently there's apps because I saw a video about an app to play the piano or the keyboard.
It's a
Yeah, I
lot.
saw
So
that.
I think that, the technology has come along that it's going to make us, it'll make it a little bit easier. It'll be something to support us to learn something new. But yeah, I mean, this is the time of life when you get to a place where you have more time freedom. We talked about this on this forum quite a bit. We're not raising kids. Maybe you're doing something with raising grandkids, or even if you are, but I think to be able to have that space to really come back to yourself of what was that
Mm-hmm.
thing that was on your list that you always intended to do
Bingo.
it now.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
if you're a younger woman listening and you do have kids at home and it's something you want to do, bring music into your house for everybody because everybody's going to benefit. And I love what you're saying, Maggie, that it's clear that from you to Duncan to hearing, the kids, this is like a pebble that is having such huge of a ripple effect, within
Mm-hmm.
your family. And then who is it, how many people is it affecting in their community as well?
And another thing, Sherry, what you just said reminded me too of younger people. Let's say they're having a family, they have small kids. Be patient with your parents, because if you have a parent that wants to do something and you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, you're my mom," or "Oh my gosh, you're my dad or my grandma," it's like you're too old to do that. And no, don't. Just like you wouldn't kill the dream of your child, don't kill the dream of your someone who's older than you. Just ask them, like, "That's amazing. Why do you want to do that?" Right? Donna, you have, I can
This
tell
is
I'm picking you up.
ab absolutely, you're saying that, and we must not fall for that. Oh, you're too old to do that. You gotta go hobble around. No, don't fall for that. That's silly.
Okay.
We get to go back to, I love the fact that you didn't know how old you are. What do you mean? My body's out here, but where am I? I'm, between 8 and 8,000. What other, I don't
Yeah.
care. We get to we get to choose at last and free ourselves. And what you're saying about the wisdom of the things that we've been through that we now understand in a way that we can share them forward to the young people to let them think for themselves. We can't tell them what to do. They're going to have to solve problems we don't even know are going to come up for them.
Yeah.
However, we need to allow them to understand some of the things that we've already been through that can help them move through what they're already doing. And here in the US, I don't know that people actually respect their elders. You know, I
Not
don't
the
know,
same
but
way.
I
Yeah.
love the fact that you're requiring it, you know, and that
Yeah.
you have fun and you enjoy it. Anyway, that
Yeah.
and you know, we get to go back to our genius
Yeah.
because the test, there was a study done, I think you know about it, you know, they did tests about how genius, where it is, and 4 and 5 year olds, 98% of them are geniuses. Then by the time they're 10, only 30%, and by the time they're adult, only 2% are geniuses because of the way they're stuck in a thing. We get to go back to that crazy, wild, childlike genius.
Mhm.
So thank you for bringing that to this call today.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I have to come back to what you said, Nancy. I think that was a really good point, that as much as we're claiming our own ageless independence, unapologetic, to not then put that on our parents. And I think we do that sometimes out of fear, like we're trying to protect them and we have some preconceived whatever. And I have to say, I'm living that right now because I have a fear of heights, not terrible, like I can get up on it, I can go on a roller coaster or climb up something high, but I'm not going to jump out of anything. My mother, on the other hand, who just turned 91 this month, is going to go. She has asked for her birthday for the second time to go hang gliding. At 91, we're taking her next month to go hang gliding. So, and there was a part of me that was like,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
how's that going to be for her? You know, and it's like, you know what? This is what she wants to do. Let her do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
my God.
You know, when my daughter was, I want to say she was junior high, and my aunt and uncle were visiting, and we took them out to the Queen Mary. And at that time, there was this, I don't know how many, 20 stories up, bungee jumping apparatus that was, remember when that used to be really popular. And my daughter was sitting there and she was looking at it, looking at it. And I remember my uncle, he looked at Amanda and he looked at the bungee jumping and he goes, I'll pay for it if you jump. And as a mother, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? No, she's not going to do that. But Amanda was so excited. And she's like, okay. And Uncle Jack took her out there and she jumped. And it was it was the most amazing, amazing experience for her.
Mhm.
And you know, it's like just like you would, like I said, just like you wouldn't squash the dream of a child, which I would have had Uncle Jack not been there. You know, I would have been like, no, you're not going to do that. But yeah, we just like your mom, you know, whatever. Do you want
yeah,
to jump out of a plane? Do you want to hang glide? Do you want to surf? Whatever, you know, go
whatever.
for it.
Yeah. Before we run out of time, Maggie, I just want to bring you back in. I wanted, because I had one other question I wanted to ask you, and this is, I think it kind of relates. We're talking about music, so we don't have a lot of time for this because we've had this fabulous conversation about rock it out. Um, and but I think this makes sense with music because, you know, when you're a musician and you're in a band and you have other people come in, you're collaborating, right? You're getting together and doing whatever that's called, a jam session. So can you just share maybe as a closing comment, because there's so much competition, there's so much comparison out there, you know, social media has really put a lens on top of that, of highlighting so much competition. How do you teach people about, instead of being in competition with each other, collaborating? And I do think that that is something we hopefully get to in our more seasoned years.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's by example, Sherry. I mean, we expanded the band and Gary and I had very clear criteria. You're not going to come in and be the boss. Nobody's the boss.
Mm-hmm,
We
mm-hmm,
we work together.
mm-hmm,
And if your ego's too big to get through the door, stay out.
mm-hmm.
So we interviewed a few people before we found these two gentlemen who are perfect for us because they have that same kind of vibration. One of them is in his 60s, but the other one is early 70s. And then Gary and I are same age. I'm 10 days older than he is, which I always tease him about. But you know, it's again that example, and that's what I love about our business, Sherry, because to be in a business that has since 50 years ago when it was founded has been based on collaboration
Yeah.
rather than competition makes it easier because the framework is there. We can expand it, we can build on it. And I think that, you know, it's primarily women in our industry, which is not surprising because that is, you know, our nature, I think, to be collaborative, generally speaking. So we have a chance to mentor young people and raise up the people who, you know, have been in the business for 30 years like I have. And, you know, it's a great environment. I think we don't pay, that's kind of a generalization. Often it's difficult to pay attention to your environment because we tend to run on tracks that have been kind of decided for us by the programming that we receive in schools and media and so on. And I was always the rebel, so maybe it was easier for me to break out of some of that conformity. And so, yeah, I think just living your life, choosing carefully the people that you surround yourself with, because it's all energy, and that, you know, the wrong kind of energy can take even the strongest of us down, as we know. So we really need to, and this is a great example that you gals are doing here with this unapologetic women. That's the kind of women we are, and that we want to attract. And we also, I want my granddaughters to be unapologetic, and the 2-year-old's got it nailed already.
Yeah.
So yes.
She just
Thank
she
you,
just
Maggie.
knows she's got it flowing through her,
Yeah.
and she's unapologetic about it.
Yeah.
I think unapologetic women, and not to exclude the men, but we were just specifically talking about women, be unapologetic from birth to transition. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Be who you
already
are. Be who you
planning
are.
my funeral so that it's fun, right?
There you go.
Fun is in the word funeral, and they very seldom are. So I thought I'd put the fun back in funeral.
There you go.
Oh, I
There you go.
love
Love
it.
it. Oh, that's good. That's good, Maggie. That's a
Maggie,
good,
we
that's a
are
good note.
so excited that you were here with us today. I mean, just you have the best energy. Thank you so much for being here and sharing unapologetically with us. We really truly appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It's been fun. It's been an honor and fun, and that's why I love hanging around Sherry. She's truly my tribe.
Excellent.
Back at you, sister.
And for all of you watching this video, leave us some comments. Let us know what you got out of this. Let us know what your thoughts are, because we really want to know, you know, what are you doing to show up unapologetically in your life? In the meantime, check us out next week. Ciao for now.